So I went to go see Will Smith's most recent attempt to turn his son into a superstar. Sorry about that. I mean, I went to go see After Earth. So guys, I think we might have broken M. Night Shyamalan. Not only does this not have a twist ending, the second of his movies not to have one, but it doesn't really look like one of his movies either. It's missing that sort of weird ethereal air that his films used to have. Although, on that note, okay, so Will, you don't mind if I call you Will, do you? It may have been a slight misstep to have your son's, starring role here be written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, I know he had some fun stuff in the past. I really enjoyed Unbreakable. Sixth Sense was a lot of fun. But have you seen his more recent movies? The Happening, not so good. The Last Airbender, terrible movie. I mean, I know he's worked well with kids. He's worked with kids, but I don't know. It's not something I would really encourage you to be looking for in your son's starring role. Maybe that's just me. There may have been some very good reasons to go with M. Night Shyamalan over other directors and writers, but I just don't see where you were coming from with this one. Anyhow, that's just my thoughts. Right, so obviously part of the issue with this movie is the fact that not only is it directed by M. Night Shyamalan, he's also one of the co-writers. So you're going to get a lot of that environmentalism kick that he's been on for the past couple movies in there. It's pretty blatant. They show scenes of man-made disasters and natural disasters, and talk about humanity ruining the earth and having to flee and claiming it's a sort of a wasteland, blah blah blah. And also, he's not really the best guy to be writing science fiction. I mean, his only other really big notable science fiction movies have been one where the aliens were defeated by water, and the other where plants suddenly develop human-specific neurotoxin and the actors get chased by the wind. So, science fiction, not really a strong suit. Here, it pretty much holds true. You have, these fantastic aliens who just develop human-specific monsters that are blind, but they see by pheromones, but only human-specific pheromones, but they have no problem in an environment, so I don't get that. It makes no sense. And you have humanity returning to Earth, which has evolved to kill humans, so much so that for some reason the temperature varies wildly from day to night, to the point where everything on the surface of the planet freezes, except there are still birds that live in nests in trees, but where they would be freezing, but they die later in the movie when they're on the ground, but not in the tree, where they would. It makes no sense. I mean, it just. I don't get it. I really don't. But the big issue, big issue with the movie is you don't like the main characters. They're not likable characters. You have Will Smith, who's normally one of the most likable people in Hollywood, or so everyone claims. He does play a really charming character most of the times. In this one, he plays a distant, almost unfeeling father who treats his son more like a military subordinate than an actual son. And then on the other hand, you have Jaden, who I'm sure people are complaining about his acting ability in this, but he plays a whiny, insecure teenager with daddy issues. And he does a pretty decent job of playing a whiny, insecure teenager with daddy issues. I didn't really see any problems. Every once in a while he's a little wooden, but that's kind of to be expected from a teenage actor. He's no worse than any of the others that I've seen. But the big issue is it's just not a likable character. You want to smack some sense into the kid for most of the movie. And that's not a good leading role for you to have, at least not without a bunch of other characters to sort of play off of. But the only other character to play off of is, as I said, this unfeeling, distant father figure. And very briefly, some sort of flashbacks with the mom and the dead sister, which causes all the problems in the first place, for the most part anyway. It's just a misstep. I mean, you know, and then it's written in such a way that at the end I didn't really feel like their issues had been resolved. You know, there was a quick, you know, like a quip, and the dad smiles, and I don't know. It's just not good writing. It really isn't. I mean, it's pretty and it looks good, although it doesn't look like M. Night Shyamalan. But it's poorly written, decently acted, you know, decently directed, just lousy script. I see not much redeeming in it at all. And actually, a brief check of IMDb shows that they're already sort of planning an After Earth 2 for release in, I believe, 2015. I don't get it. I really don't. Anywho, you might want to stay away from this one. It's not terrible, but there's really nothing to redeem it. There's no reason why you should go and see it that I can think of at all. None whatsoever. See you around.